All right. Well, officially, hello everyone. Good evening and or good morning or wherever you are in the world. Um, it's wonderful to see all of you today. Feel free to turn your video on if you like while we're going through the first little part of this. Hi, Joe. How are you? We have several people from Australia here today. That's nice. And Fernanda, you're here again. That's lovely.
Yes, I'm here again. I love the energy, so I had to come back.
Oh, I'm so glad. What time is it where you are now?
So I'm in Brisbane, Australia. So now it's 11 a.m., which is great.
Oh,
so
that's
the other is 5 a.m. Yes.
That's great. That's why, and Elizabeth was here too, I see. So, and Joe, yeah, a lot of Aussies tonight. That's great.
Well,
hello, Artur.
I'm a Brazilian living in Aussie.
I
Ausland.
thought so. I thought so. What a magical thing to have. That's great. Yeah, I was hoping we could catch people from all over the world by doing it twice today, and it's working out great. So I'm so grateful. But I didn't expect so many people to come to both of them. You guys are diehards for this. Great. So let's see if there's anybody else on here. I need to make sure. Okay, well, we'll get started just because at the beginning of these things, and I apologize to those of you who are here this morning, the beginning of these things, we always have to do a little bit of etiquette and housekeeping, little rule setting or explanation. So please forgive me for repeating myself. I'm going to put all of you on mute for right now so that we don't have feedback issues. And then the way we're going to do this is we will have, I will start out with just a little introduction, and then the teachers, like the first one today, wanted me to lead you all in some breath work, some yogic pranayamas, very gentle and easy, but doing some breath work so to raise our frequencies, to raise our vibration, so that it's easier for them to make a good coherent connection with us, good contact. So, and also that will help with all of the energy work and the upgrade work that they'll be doing with us during this session. For those of you who are veterans to the Star Teachers, you know that some of that work can be really powerful. So doing this breath work beforehand should really help us with not getting a little too loopy, but also raising our frequencies so that we're able to meet them at least halfway and not make it so difficult for them to reach out to us. Somewhere during the breath work, if they do it the way they did it this morning or this afternoon, at some point during the breath work, they will merge with me and they'll just take over and start with the guided journey, with the educational piece, and they'll speak a lot about some things that are currently what they're giving messages about, and then we will open the floor to questions. And that's when I will ask each of you to use the raise hands function on the Zoom. For those of you who are new to Zoom or you're not used to doing this, either, depending on what device you're using, either on the top or the sides or the bottom of your device, there should be a toolbar. And in that toolbar, you should see a microphone for muting and unmuting, a video camera for putting yourself on or off camera. There's a little shared screen sharing thing there, but we're not going to use that tonight. And you'll see participants. If you want to raise your hand and ask a question, I'll ask you to just click on the participants icon and find your name and click on your name, and that will show a raised hand on the screen. And even though I will be on a little vacation, is how I put it, when I merge with the teachers, my body is present and it works just fine, just as if I were here, but my conscious awareness is melded with theirs, so I don't really remember anything. I'm just kind of in I'm just kind of floating somewhere in a lovely vacation while this goes on. So I don't really hear what's going on. However, they will work my body, and I will, with my hands, you'll see my hands doing this once in a while, be picking up the raised hands for them. And they'll call each person's name out or the phone number, depending on, what you're using. And then you can unmute yourself and ask your question. And then when your question is over, when it's answered, then mute yourself again, please. When we have everybody muted this way, it is really helpful because sometimes there's background noise and it comes through really strongly in the mics and can sometimes cause a lot of irritating feedback or just noise that's kind of not helpful. So anyway, that's how we will do that. And then at the very end, if we would like to visit for a little while, we can unmute, and it'll be a little bit of cacophony, but it's still nice to talk to each other. So I want to welcome everybody. I'm Debz Shakti. I, among other things in my sacred work, I channel. Particularly, I work with the star teachers who are very high level, high frequency ET beings, very highly evolved, but they say they are us having evolved to and raised themselves to a different frequency where they're no longer in the constructs of the third dimensional planet Earth material world. They are or can be physical at times. They just choose how they want to manifest, but for most part, they are what they call a liquid crystalline light body. So it's very easy for them to meet with us telepathically, or for them to pair with me and I channel. And as you're hearing the words from my mouth, as you're seeing my eyes, my body language, there's a lot of information coming on the carrier wave of those things as well, helping to give you energetic upgrades, DNA activation of latent things in your DNA that all of us are carrying around, and kind of switching on the superpowers, if you will, so that we can start to move forward into this evolution, because they say they are us having evolved to that higher frequency, and they call us their future ancestors. So they reach down through these frequencies to help awaken us to the fact that basically we've already accomplished what we are praying for, hoping for, wishing for right now, which is to ascend past these negative constructs of greed, corruption, negativity, karmic patterning, duality, all of those things. They say that this earth place in the third dimension, is a very small part of all of creation, and it's a thought puzzle. It's a thought experiment that we set up for ourselves to learn and experience, but most of us are finished with it now. So they want to remind us on how to move up from that and move into what most of creation is, which is a harmonious, peaceful, beautiful, co-creative life. So that's about the star teachers for those of you who are new to this work. Hopefully you will feel comfortable and delightful through the whole thing, and you really should feel wonderful afterwards. Know that the work continues afterwards, so they'll give a few instructions at the end to help you continue to assimilate that information and that energy and that healing and all that stuff. So anyway, I wanted to, I don't know if he's on. I'm looking for Costa McCrease. Are you on today? I know you were on this morning, but no, he's not on. So one of the things I wanted to talk about before we get started is there's another project that we're working on with the ET Let's Talk team. And that is, you may have already seen stuff about it, but it's an event that is coming up on December the 22nd, solstice, winter solstice, and it's called the Day of Good News. Our hope is that everyone will, on that day, on the December the 22nd, especially on their social media and then their emails and so forth, they will post only positive things or links to good news. And there is a website that was developed for this called a dayofgoodnews.com. So you can go there and sign up for it. It doesn't cost anything, obviously, but there's some instructions or some helpful hints on how to do this. There's also a Facebook page, a group page, if you want to get on there. So it's just called A Day of Good News. And really there are 3 action points that we're asking everybody in the world who gets this message to take on. And the first action point is what I just said, is just, anything that you post, make it positive, or post at least one good link or one link to a good news story. And like I said, on the website and Facebook page, there are lots and lots of links to places where you can get good news. And we encourage you to go there, not just on that day, but every day, and lift yourselves up a little bit. We are being spoon-fed, as Costa says, we're being spoon-fed poison every single day. It's like we wear this big bottle of poison around our neck called negative programming, which comes in from all our social media, from all media, basically, even from conversations around the water cooler, just default behaviors of the human collective. We've become very acclimated to only talking about negative things or scary things or things that are bothering us. We complain a lot and so forth. So we're trying to break that cycle with this. So post only positive things or links to good news on that day, and then make it a practice to do it at least once a day. The second action point is to tell at least 2 other friends about this, to get them to do it. We want to start another big movement like we did with the Woodstock event back in August, where we sent a wave of love starting around the world. And there have been incredible increases of positivity since that happened. And we can go into the science of that. I don't have time to do it tonight, but you can go back to that Woodstock of ET Contact group page and look at some of the proofs we have that the energy shifted on Earth from that practice that we did together, which is very exciting. And we continue to research that. So we're hoping that this will be another big wave, a shift that will help us collectively assist those who are not quite awake yet, or who are suffering from just the overload of all this poisonous information, so that they can be uplifted every day too. So tell 2 friends. And then the third action point is to make this a daily practice and do it every day. Just walk the talk of goodness, of positivity, of motivation, and be the change you want to see in the world. So that's our little spiel for that. And the teachers will probably have something more to say about it later. They did in the first one, but I just wanted to bring you up to speed on that. And then also, with the description of the program I just gave you, if you can, stay till the end. For those of you who are on tonight, there will be a very special thank you offer, gratitude from me to you, about how to meet with the Star Teachers one-on-one in your own time. And so we'll talk about that at the end, but I just thought I'd let you know kind of the format of the evening. So without further ado, unless anybody has any questions, I think we'll get started so that we can enjoy the energy and the information that are just beating against my forehead right now, wanting to get out. So one thing I want to tell you about the breath work that we're getting ready to do. For those of you who don't know me, I've been a yogi for 50 years. Yes, 50 years. And I've been a yoga teacher for 48 years. So breathing practice, pranayama, is very important to increasing your energy, your vibration. It helps you get deep into meditation. And so it's very important that we do this work. I just want to underscore for all of you that it's extremely important for you to only do what feels good to you. It should not feel like a chore. These are very gentle practices that we're going to do tonight. It should feel good. If for some reason your head is stopped up, your nose is runny or whatever, keep some Kleenex by. I'll give you a couple minutes to go get a Kleenex and blow your nose. But know that the breath work will help if you are stopped up too. Eventually it will break some of that loose. And we just know that the breath is the bridge between the physical world and the spiritual world. So we really want to do that. So I hope you'll engage with us. And right into the breath work, the teachers will come in and lead the meditation and the energy work. All right, so if everybody's ready, you can leave your video on or you can take it off if you like. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to check once more, make sure everybody's microphones are off because we don't want any outside noise during this portion of the program. So wonderful. If you like, just get into a comfortable position, please. And in a moment, I'll ask you to close your eyes. But the first breath work we're going to do is called alternate nostril breathing. And the reason we're going to do this is the theme of the program is balancing the hemispheres. And just like because we are having these two events today so that we can get all the hemispheres of the globe gathered with us, we're trying to also bring the hemispheres of the brain together in coherency so that we can work better and more effectively, not just as physical human beings, but as, you know, meta beings, ultra beings. So what we're going to do is start with alternate nostril breathing. And I want you to take your right hand, even if you're left-handed, take your right hand and just bring your, it's always hard for me to do this in the camera. Take your middle three fingers and put them down and just have your thumb and pinky fingers sticking out. This is the easiest way to do it. Those of you who are yogis or Buddhists and practice this, some of you may put your middle finger here on the third eye and your two other fingers here on the eyebrows, and then, you know, shut your nostrils off with the thumb and forefinger, but that's a little more advanced. So the way I teach it to most people so that they understand is just fold the middle fingers and have, like the Hawaiians say, mahalo, which means, you know, lighten up, buddy. Take your right thumb and close off your right nostril. Okay, and then we're going to take a deep breath. I want everybody to do this with me. Take a deep breath in through the left nostril as long and deep as you can. And then close off the left nostril, open the right, and breathe out through the right. And the exhalation is very important. You want to breathe very, very long out. Squeeze. And then inhale through the right nostril. Be sure you don't tighten your jaws. And then close the right nostril with the thumb, open with the pinky, breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Close it off, breathe fully out through the right. Inhale right. Close it off, exhale left. Slow and deep, inhale left. Remember, you can close your eyes if you like. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Continue on. If you get lost, start over again. Remember to relax your jaws. Relax your shoulders. Sit up straight. Let this be your last round. And wherever you are, once you're finished, just relax and breathe normally. Eyes closed. Take note of how you're feeling. And as you're breathing and relaxing here, know that the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of the brain have become more coherent, as have the energetic hemispheres of your being, the Ida and Pingala, the divine masculine and divine feminine qualities, the analytical, the assertive, the creative, the nurturing. As we build coherency this way, we raise our vibration, we receive more clarity, the ability to heal better ourselves and others, and balance. Okay, so keeping your eyes closed, I want you to stay relaxed and then make a little circle with your mouth, like you're getting ready to sip through a straw. And we're going to do sipping breath. And this brings the energy straight up the middle of the channel of the astral spine. So we're going to breathe in like we're sipping through a straw. You'll hear a light sound. It goes like this. Again, very deeply. And you're going to keep the straw face, but you're going to let the exhalation flow out as on its own without forcing. So it may take a while for all the air to get out. And it makes very little sound. And then again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. continue on a few more times. Let this be your last round. Once you're finished, eyes closed, stay relaxed, spine erect, breathe naturally, and notice how you feel. And then we would like for you to visualize a bright blue ball of light. Use your imagination, your most powerful tool of creation, and see that bright ball of blue light shimmering right in front of you. Just see it. It's beautiful. This bright ball of blue light is your conscious awareness. We're attempting to become more consciously aware with these practices and with the work that we're doing together tonight and onward. Being more consciously aware in each moment of your existence helps you to ascend through the frequencies and escape all of the malignant, negative, dense aspects of the world you're focused on now. So once again, visualize that bright blue ball of light, your conscious awareness, and I want you to see it floating just below your pelvic floor. And taking a deep breath in through the nose, if possible, draw that bright blue ball of light up through the pelvic floor, up through the center channel of your astral spine. Your astral spine overlays your physical spine. Just bring it up through all of the different chakras, all the way up to the crown of the head, and let it pop out the top of the head. And as you exhale gently, you can exhale through the nose or the mouth with a sigh and ha. Let that bright blue ball of light flow down the back of the skull, down the neck, massaging down the back, still flowing down the outside of the astral spine. And on the next inhale, pull it up through the center channel again. The Sushumna, bring it up. Inhale, blue ball of light, conscious awareness, cleansing, balancing, healing. Pop it out the top of the head, at the top of the breath, and then let it roll down the back of the skull, the neck, and the spine, cleansing the back channels of the chakric system, balancing, healing, going deeper. Bring it up, the bright blue ball of light up through the spine. See it brightening. Feel it. Be with it. At the top of the breath, hold the breath for a moment. And then pop the ball out the top of the head. Let it roll down the back as you exhale fully. Releasing everything you no longer need or want. And as you inhale, bring that bright blue ball of light up through the astral channel, bringing in goodness, resources, healing, light, clarity. At the top of the breath, hold. Then pop it out the top of the head, let it roll down the back. And again, draw that bright blue ball of light up, 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 up. At the top of the head, at the top of the breath, hold. And then pop it out, let it roll down once more. Beautifully done. Once more, bring it up through the astral channel, bring it up through the Sushumna. Really bringing it up. See it come all the way up and hold at the top. And then pop it out the top once more, let it roll down the back. Relaxing. And for the last time, let's pull it up. And as you pull it up, really feel all of the energy of the universe pouring in with it, energizing it, brightening it, amplifying it. When you get to the top of the head, hold the breath and keep the ball there, surrounding the pineal gland, activating it. This is your third eye. You may release the breath, but keep the ball there, eyes closed, stay relaxed, go deeper. That ball of light is now in the center of your brain. It's in the center of your sixth chakra. Feel it. See it. Now we're going to take the bright blue ball of light and move it slowly to the left, clearing any blockages or any density in the left hemisphere of the brain. Let it go all the way to the outside edge of the left hemisphere of the brain. And staying relaxed, bring it now across very slowly through the left hemisphere, crossing that bridge in the middle, bringing it through the right to the outer edge of the right hemisphere of the brain. And once more, bring it across from the right, slowly, cleansing, clearing, enlightening. Bring it across the bridge to the left and all the way to the other side. And continue visualizing this bright blue of light, ball of light, moving from left to right, right to left, removing any obstacles to your wisdom, to your liberation, to your freedom, to your bliss, to your peace, to your abundance, to your intellect, to all of your systems. See it moving left to right and right to left, a little faster each time, like the old first video game called Pong. See the ball of light moving faster and faster between the two hemispheres until it becomes a very fast, streak, bright blue ray of light. The ball is moving so fast you no longer see a ball, it's just a streak of blue light. And you feel the hemispheres coming into coherence, coming into balance, coming in to communion. Feel it. Be that balance. Keep that streak of blue light going between the hemispheres and send a bit of it down in a ray of light down to the heart center. See it. Let there be a ball of light there attached to that stream of light, and see it amplify and grow and glow in the heart, bringing heart coherency to the mind, to the brain. Feel it. Feel the love growing there. Feel the warmth. Feel the healing of all the old past wounds. of all the hurts that you've had or caused. Allow that light to spill forgiveness and gratitude into your life. Feel it. See it. Be it. And maintaining these visualizations, add a third one from the streak of light in the middle of the brain, going from the right to the left hemisphere. Send another streak of light up, out through the crown chakra, out through the top of the head, and in streams of rays of light, reaching out everywhere, connecting to all life forms in the higher frequencies, including us, the star teachers. Feel us. Feel us connecting with you now. Through the mind, through the heart, through the conscious awareness that is your real eternal being, unlimited selves. We now merge with you. We are ready to commune. You can let go of the visualization. You may keep the eyes closed or you may open them. For we are here now to speak to you, to give you a message of hope, of peace, of love, of gratitude. We are the Star Teachers, and we thank you for being here with us tonight. We are you, having evolved to a higher level of frequency, and we're here now to help you achieve that once again, for you have already achieved it, or we would not be here speaking to you in this gathering. Please know that each of you is here on special purpose. You did not meet together tonight or this morning, wherever you live in this beautiful planet, by coincidence. There is no coincidence. Each of you is here on purpose to work with one another. You, like we, are all connected. You each have special things that you can add to the mix through your energy, through your words, through your questions, and through your hearts. We would add to the message about good news to this gathering, to not just start talking about good things and positive things, to not just forego paying attention to negative things. These are things that we've been talking to you about for quite some time. But now we encourage you, we admonish you to be the good news, to be that goodness in the world. Each day, consciously choose and carry out as much goodness as you possibly can in your daily life. That includes being good to yourself. Be a loving friend, a loving family member, but be loving to yourself. Be loving to your planet and to all the beings seen and unseen who inhabit the universe. Know that there is infinite goodness, and goodness abounds everywhere. You are part of that goodness. Now exemplify it. Our main message is be the goodness. Be it. Help spread the love. Help spread the positivity. And watch your cells move upward in frequency from the focus of the world that you live in now to the focus of the new earth, exemplifying as the new human in this beautiful passion play we call life. We also would like to encourage you to increase your vibration daily by going into deep meditation as often as possible, however that feels right to you. Some of you would practice traditional meditation, that means you sit and close your eyes, do some breathing practice, maybe chant a mantra, visualization, and then allow your thoughts to slow down. That's very good. Get quiet and still. Some of you like to walk in the woods or on your city streets. Some of you like to swim, to dance, to play music, to create art. Whatever puts you into the flow state, do more of that. Spending time in nature is essential, and being very good to your body, mind, vessel is essential. Again, we encourage you to only nourish yourself and not feed yourself poison. The world will be the world in all of its frequencies, in all of its iterations. You get to choose which iteration to focus on. Focus on the one that is positive, beautiful, good, loving, and abundant, vibrant. And be that and create that with your being. In your meditation, we also would like to give you a tiny bit of homework that should be very enjoyable. We know that each of you has had the experience, unless you are without physical sight, where you have gone out under the night sky on a clear evening and looked up at the stars. We encourage you, when you go into your meditation, when it's traditional meditation, to close your eyes and relax, or before you go to sleep or after you wake up, before you open your eyes, look into the blackness behind your eyelids and relax into it. Be present with it. Be very conscious with it. Stay awake with it. And then begin to notice if you see the star field in your internal self. Eventually you should. That internal star field is not something you made up. It is the true universe. That which you see when you go out at night and look up is merely a reflection of what is inside of you. And that star field, that universe, is in each of your atoms. It's in each of your nanoparticles. Down to the smallest thing you can imagine, there is a universe. Spend time with it. Pay attention to it. Watch and see if perhaps you are signaled from time to time by light beings, or if you see craft flying around in there, or orbs, or angels, or any manifestations of higher vibrational life. See it. Commune with it. Invite it. Never be afraid. There's nothing ever to fear in your life, not even death of this body. For that is just moving from one focus to another. It's a beautiful experience. It's one that should come naturally, never forced, because if you force it, you'll have to start over again, which is also okay. But we encourage you to let it happen naturally. But don't be afraid of anything. Certainly don't be afraid of all of the negativity that you are being force-fed at the moment in your society. That poison, it can't affect you when you keep your vibration high. So meditate, be the positive change in the world, and commune often with your internal and, of course, your external star field. We will now open the floor for questions, remembering to use the raised hands function on this program. And we encourage each of you to ask questions. We are happy to interact with you at this moment. and we welcome you in Lakesh. We are another you. And so, David Malley, we are here. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. There have been time periods where I've been, I would say, in a flight, and I put my fingers against the window of the window seat, and I'll see like multiple little beads of light, like dancing with like little diminishing tails behind it. And I've had that a couple times just sitting outside. So I guess indeed, you guys, well, I think I'm experiencing exactly what you stated. So as a wonderful feeling, I feel a sense of connection. Another scenario, when I was in grade school, I was on my sister's bike to go spend the night with a classmate. A car pulled out of the driveway, not knowing that they had laid me flat on the ground and I was underneath the front wheels, soon to be crushed. I experienced an out-of-body experience, and I could see the wife shaking the husband, honey, I hear something, honey, you know, and I could see everybody with their ice cream standing just about screaming. And as soon as the husband came outside and put his hands on me, I was back in my body. But it was a sense of peacefulness, very peaceful. I relate it to being like parasailing, where you don't hear sound anymore. You can observe stuff. And so I would say I was on the retreat at Joshua Trees, and we resided or rented a place out there in the Hicks. So 55 was the speed limit, but they were going far faster than that. So during lunch break, a car suddenly was in my lane and veered back into their lane right before contact. And then I realized there were boards laying on the road in both directions. So I thought, okay, before I go to the ET retreat for the night, I will personally move those boards away so that it's safe for me and everybody else. Well, little did I know, I put the phone of directions covering the indicator of what position to put the stick shift in. I placed it in neutral, stepped out the door slapped me to the ground, head made contact, the front wheel drove over my leg. The interesting part was the wife was at the residence. She came down with, I only heard later, she came down with a severe headache, which I think basically I should have had, hitting my head to the pavement, and then the car took off over my leg and was rolling downhill. I basically stood up and started running after the car. And so climbed back into the car, to park it properly, and still moved the boards off the road, and then still continued on to 3 hours of sitting underneath the stars for the retreat. And it was a beautiful experience. We sat in a different location than the prior night's gathering, but it was spectacular. And I just have a feeling that from that experience that you guys are sort of like keeping an eye on me. Sort of like a big brother, this is not your time yet type of deal. So I feel like there's a definite interaction. So I thought I'd share that. So,
well, thank you for sharing that, brother, because we are indeed and have always been with each of you who are here in this experience. We don't just partner with the person who you see speaking with you now. We partner with all of you, as do many other factions of civilizations. Each of you have many different guides who are constantly with you, protecting you, showing you the way, assisting you, and so forth. Those two instances that you talk about were very important to get your attention, and they're great to impart to other people when you are trying to share about these types of experiences and get them to understand you're not alone. That's the big message. No one in the universe, in the multiverse, is ever alone. We are all here helping one another. That is the part of this thought experiment in the third density that you are trying to escape, that concept that there is separation. You know, the concept of duality and karmic patterning, that's all about separation. But that's just an experiment. For the most part, the infiniverse is a place of non-separation, of connection. And so we're always with you, helping you. And we thank you for the work that you do. And we thank you for imparting the lessons that you have gone through. And yes, keep sharing your stories, keep doing the good work, and keep connecting with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And so you can mute yourself now, David, and we're going to speak with Artur. And hello, Artur, our dear friend. How are you? Can you unmute yourself?
Good.
There you are. Hello.
Hi.
It's so good to see you, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. I want to share this, and thank you, David. Thank you for sharing. It was really nice to hear that. And I wanted to, say it's really on point that you mentioned the negative programming. And I wanted, in relation to that, I wanted to share my experience that I had recently. I have had there a little mole on my back that I realized that I didn't have around the time when my son was born, which was 7 years ago, and it was growing. So I finally, when I saw it, when I looked at it recently, I had the feeling of, unrest.
Yes.
So I went to the doctor to get it removed, and they did a biopsy. And I was in the waiting room, and I saw many people there. I saw one girl that was there much younger than me, and I was thinking that some of these people look very worried. And then I experienced a doctor who came into the room and who had a presence very much of like somebody who's very authoritarian, we would like to say. The presence was trying to intimidate. Ego. Yeah. And so the doctor started to tell me what that all means. And like, I had the experience that I can only explain it as my reaction was very positive, and I was taking everything in. I was open, and because I was not giving back the reaction of fear and of being in shock, he was drilling in more and more, and the statements he was making was basically very, very negative programming. And at some point he was revealing basically revealing that too, saying basically, somebody with something very shallow, which is less than 1 millimeter deep in the skin, is considered shallow. It's usually removed with cutting it out, and 90% of all people that do good. And then he said, but then he comes the negative program. He said, but for some reason, some people, even though 90% do good with it, for some reason, some people do not do good at all. So that's the first one. But then he comes to the next one. He says, yours is 0.9, which is almost, it's on the verge. And we're going to get removed. We're going to do a biopsy on that. And if we find something, we're going to send you to a specialist who will think about removing this gland here, the sweat gland here under the left.
Yes, the lymph nodes.
Yes, thank you, the lymph node. But then he says, even though it will not make the numbers better, so we're going to remove a part of the body, even though it doesn't improve the numbers. And then he says, even though if we find even if we find no cells in that sample, I still will consider sending you to that specialist to talk to you about removing the lymph node. So that is absolutely not. And then he says that, and that's the height of it. He says, we're going to do a bunch of tests. We're going to look everywhere in the body, but sometimes the cells are so small, and he refers to cancerous cells, that they cannot be found, but that doesn't mean that they are not there. So that is the height of negative programming that I have heard.
Absolutely.
And then he left the room, and the nurse came in afterwards, started to do a little bit small talk, and she felt like she has to basically explain to me why I experienced what I just experienced. And then she drops that this man served in Desert Storm and that he, you know, has a military background basically. And, you know, she felt the need, like she has to explain to me why I have been talked to the way I have been talked to. And then I had to think about all the people in the waiting room and about all the fear. And then I thought about my guides, because I had time waiting for the thing, you know, the shot to start to kick in. And then, you know, I started to feel very happy and thankful again, and surrounded by love. And then, you know, as they were cutting on me, I had to take the time to talk to them. And so I spoke about other therapies. And I said, you know, there's this doctor in Texas who is working with peptides. And they found that people who have a lot of peptides in their body, they fight the cancerous cells off naturally, successfully. And so what he does is he has a therapy with peptides. So the nurse asks for all kind of cancers. I say yes. It has even shown to be successful with leukemia. And you know, there are many people who have been healed. And then, you know, so he says, oh, I've been for 27 years. I have been a doctor. And there are all these new things, they come around after a while, they turn out to be just some new things that just don't work. So he was just right there, like turning everything down. And I said, okay, well, then there's another therapy that that they were showing. And it took them a long time to come across it, because they were looking at frequencies, and they had to look at each frequency for at least 5 minutes to see what it does to cells. And then as they came to the frequencies between 10,000 and 30,000 hertz, they found out that these frequencies are killing cancerous cells in the body, and only cancerous cells in the body. The moment the cancerous cell divides, the new cell is dead, and the cell that just divided starts to die. And so they got quiet, and they just didn't like what I was talking about.
No.
So the negative programming is very, very omnipresent, is everywhere. And, you know, people who are stuck in a profession doing something, what they are doing, how they are doing it, they don't like to hear often about different new things that mean the overthrow of the old, and, you know, the do away with something that is just not very effective.
Yes.
But,
well, and you know, subconsciously, you know, that's a fear-based program anyway for that person. And it's unfortunate that physician was negatively programmed by all that he was trained to do and all that he experienced in that horrible war. And it has imprinted him, and he's moved forward in life that way, on the defensive about everything. So he doesn't want to accept anything new, but there's a different subconscious subroutine, if you will, programmed into his mind that says, if I accept what this person is telling me and go in and research it, then all is lost for me, because I've spent my whole life doing this work now. And if you can cure these cancerous invasions in people with frequency, then I have no work to do. And so there's a great deal of fear there.
That's what he mentioned, the 27 years. It's confirmed.
Yeah, do you see? So the funny thing that we find about humans is that they're very resistant to change, especially when it is imperative that they need to change something that they have been doing for a long time, that they are accustomed to. We look back into the history of your world, just the recent history, when people went from riding horses and having horse and carriages or wagons, horse-drawn carriages and wagons, to the automobile. And people were very afraid of accepting the automobile, because it would put all of the blacksmiths and the people who took care of horses and who bred horses out of business. But what people don't see, and the same thing happened when computers started to become a thing in your environment. People were afraid that computers would take over everything and put people out of work, and that people would starve. But what they don't see is the forest for the trees. Maybe you give up blacksmithing or veterinary work for the horses, and you become someone who invents new systems for the automobile. Maybe you give up your job as a grocery store clerk, and go to school and become a computer programmer, or you devise some new software for a computer that will help people learn new things and open their minds. So it goes back to what we were talking about earlier about fear. You must never, and thank you for bringing up your story, because if one allows oneself to be dragged down into a fear state, all you see is negativity. You see things that are never going to change, and they, especially if they are dire things, all you're going to get is a dire result. But if you stay in, like you did, that state of loving, open awareness, and you send love even to the person who is banging you on the head with their negativity, you will help to affect them. But the main thing is you will not be affected by that negative pull down, and you will not be incurring that kind of effect on your body. Remember, as you think, so you feel. That's not just an energetic thing. It is a physiological state in your body. If you are feeling love and happiness and thinking about gratitude and joy and expressing kindness, your brain, the pineal gland and the pituitary gland in your brain, in your physical body, begins to shower a cascade of different hormones, really pharmaceuticals that are created in your own brain that affect the cells in a way that no man-made pharmaceutical can do. That is why you see people go into remission from cancer when they start these practices. That is why you see people who can't hear get their hearing back. That is why you see people with terrible gastrointestinal diseases and conditions, suddenly they no longer have them. Sometimes they don't even realize they've released them until one day they just say, oh, it's been a long time since I had a stomach ache. And you realize it's because you're happy. It's because you are doing things to continuously cause the brain, those glands in the brain, to excrete the proper pharmaceuticals. Any drug that you need to heal the body, you can make in your brain, but it's only made with those positive expressions of emotion. Okay? Remember, the inverse of that is if you are expressing and allowing yourself to only be in a loop of negative emotions and feelings, the brain also, those glands, will excrete things like, cortisol and too much serotonin, and those things will shower the body and cause toxic results in the body, which cause dis-ease or exacerbate dis-ease or ugly conditions. So this is our main message to you this evening, is that, it sounds all lovely and fluffy and, peace, love, and yoga to say, yes, spread good news every day and only talk about and read about and think about positive things. It sounds very naive. It is an important truth that we're trying to get into in your conscious awareness tonight. Please, this is how you cure dis-ease in your body. This is how you also cure the dis-ease of your planet energetically. Does that make sense? We know you get it.
Thank you so much. That is very important what you said. Thank you. I remember when I had very much stress and very hard physical work many, many years ago, and I had big problems with my spine, and I had sciatica and blah, blah, blah. It was back and forth, and surgery. I was supposed to have it, and I didn't have it. I didn't have it because I was praying up and staying positive, and then I was laying there, I couldn't move, and all of a sudden I started to feel it. It was like you say, the shower of positive positive feelings, and it was like almost a euphoria, and everything started all of a sudden to relax. All of a sudden, it started all to relax, and it all started to heal. Heal. And within one day, I healed from something where they said I have to have surgery. I believe 100% what you're saying. And the stress that I allowed to get to me was what caused it in the first place, because I let my guard down. And, I created unconsciously with my energy that ailment that I allowed to get to me. So thank you for confirming all of that and reminding us of that.
Absolutely. And we thank you for bringing it up, because there are many people on this gathering tonight, and many people who will hear this in the future who have the same question or have the same, type of thing happening. And it's an important lesson. It is something that we'll be talking about more and more, because you literally are an infinite and unlimited being, all of you. And you have complete capacity to create whatever it is you want. If your emotions caused disease or discomfort in your body or your life, that tells you how powerful you are. You can switch it and cause the good emotions and the good pharmaceuticals and the good energy as well. And so we thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ilakash. And if you'll mute yourself now, please, and we'll go to Joe Goodman. And Joe Goodman, may you go ahead and unmute yourself, and we will speak with you. Joe Goodman, are you here? Hello, Joe. Joe, can you unmute yourself? Hello. Can you hear us, Joe? Joe, will you turn your volume up on your device? We're not hearing you. We can't hear you. Can you check your connection to your microphone, Joe? Hello? Oh. Artur says to try to unplug and plug your microphone back in. Can you do that, Joe? Well, while you're trying to figure that out, we'll go to the next person, and then we'll come back to you if that's okay. And so we are going to be asking Fernanda to unmute herself. Fernanda, are you there?
Oh, hello. Yes, I'm here.
Hello there, Fernanda.
Hello again.
Hello.
Yes, hello again. No, it's just more like a sharing, because I participate of your earlier call.
Yes.
And the whole experience was different. On the earlier call, I felt a strong, it was so much work on my right side of the brain.
Yes.
And was really busy. And this time, it felt more balanced as we started. So I just felt like there was building on something that was already built.
Yes.
Really more imbalanced and more powerful. And also when we had we're visualizing the blue light coming from our brain to our heart, I had the necessity of even bringing down to the gut, and had to go down to the gut as well before it could go up.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because I know there is all these talks about the three brains now, and the guts being more involved on this. But I couldn't do anything until it really came down to the gut.
And we thank you for bringing that up, because there are many on this call who are at this time have recently had or are engaged in having problems with the gut, with their gastrointestinal systems. And that is not a surprise, given what you're ingesting in your world. And we're not just talking about the types of food that you're eating, but you are literally eating stress all the time. And we do know, scientifically, you can look at research, those of you who don't know this yet, what Fernanda is referring to are the three brains. The main brain actually is the heart. Then the secondary brain, which is extremely powerful, is located in your digestive system, in the gut, in the microbiome that lives in your stomach and your intestines and in your colon. And then the third brain, which everyone seems to celebrate, it's it's in the head, but that's kind of the flash drive to a bigger computer system, to the heart and the gut. So the gut, you were instructed to bring that energy down to the gut to cohere that as well, and then to speak about it, because it's very important that people understand that that is a very important brain that also lives in the body. There is research in your science now that shows that in heart tissue and in the tissues of the digestive system are the same cells as in the brain tissue. And it is very important to know that the microbiome, the flora and the fauna that live in the gut system is balanced. If you are experiencing a lot of problems in that area, really in your body, it probably means that environment is not in balance. And there's a lot of research out there that you can look up to tell how to balance. But basically, it's about the food that you eat, but it's also about the nourishment that you take in energetically and psychically and mentally and emotionally. So we want to make sure that that area is also in balance. And so when you go back through and listen to these meditations, in these recordings that our partner will post for you, if you do the breathing again and you do the visualization, if you want to bring that light to the gut, especially if you incur those problems, let the light sit there and let it help balance out that microbiome in the body's digestive system and elimination system, and watch miracles happen in that body as well. Doesn't have to be just in the digestive system if you're having problems there. That, of course, is a big signal. But if you're having inflammation in the body, if you have autoimmune disease, if you have fibromyalgia, all of these things are located first in the gut. Please know that your emotions also are ruled by the balance of or imbalance of the system in that physiological gut brain. And so we encourage you to look into things such as eating fermented foods, and or taking some probiotic and prebiotic foods, but also keeping a healthy balance in life. And so we thank you for bringing that up. It is very important for people to understand, just like you are not alone in the universe, that you're connected to every other civilization, to every other being, to every other thing in creation, so too is everything in your body connected. Not just the physical body, but the energy body, the mental body, the emotional body, the spiritual body. So we thank you for bringing that up. And we're so glad that you came to both of the sessions.
No, it's awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. And so Joe has her hand up again. Hopefully we can hear you now, Joe. Are you have it fixed? You can unmute yourself. Hello? Oh, I still can't hear you. I'm so sorry. If you would like, you could write out, you go to the participants thing and hit the chat, and you could ask your question in the chat, and we will check that soon and then read it out and answer the question if you like. That way we can service you without causing you any more stress. Please relax though. Do some deep breathing before you do that, just because the equipment sometimes reacts to the energy, and sometimes it will go on the fritz just because your energy is so high. So just relax, okay? Does anyone else have a question or something they would like to say? We'll just look through here. Please know that no matter how nervous you are to ask in front of other people, or how silly or large or small your question or even your observance is, please speak it out, because it will help everyone here. If you have something that is on your mind, please feel free to ask. We do have time, and we would love to encourage you to be part of this collective. Yes, Elizabeth, you may go ahead and unmute yourself, and we'll be happy to speak with you.
Oh, hey, Deb. Hi, everyone. Oh, hello.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi.
In Lakesh. It's good to see you.
Thank you so much. This has been so great. I was like Fernanda. I know Fernanda's a friend of mine, and we went to the first one, and this one is just awesome. This one's even better than the first one. That's possible.
We love it. We love it. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I have a question. Since we seem to be on a health-related topic, it kind of made me go, oh yeah. So I have a daughter who, around the age of 8, when we moved from New Zealand to Canada, she got something called Graves' disease.
Yes.
And it was a bit of a shock because it was like 8, and it just kind of came out of the blue. But of course, moving internationally probably didn't help things.
Mm-hmm.
She is getting better over time, and the nice thing is there's a possibility that when she kind of hits puberty, it could just disappear. Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's anything they would suggest she could do, or I can help her with. Like, I do try to help her as much as I can with alternative therapies and healthy stuff, but sometimes as a mom, you're like, ooh, what else can I do? You know.
Sure. Well, and know that it will disappear. Okay. She's already decided that. It was a part of her journey, not just the physical journey of the move, but it's part of her learning and part of your learning. And it was important that it expressed that way. So don't, yes, as a mother, you feel bad that your child is suffering. Yeah. And it can be very harrowing to be a parent and to watch your child and to feel helpless, but don't feel helpless. Remember, you are absolutely unlimited in your capacity, as is she, to bring this back to balance. And she will. And she will soon. It is very, very, it's imminent as she grows. But the preponderance of that disease, of that condition, happened not by coincidence right when you were moving. There's this very stressful thing. She is an extremely sensitive being. She is one of those special children who've come into the world to help, do what we're doing, which is to help wake everyone up. She's extremely psychic, extremely powerful in her own healing abilities. She can probably go around and help everybody else heal, but she doesn't realize quite yet that she can do it for herself. You may have noticed some of these things in her, but definitely they will start to be more expressed as she comes into her preteen years.
Okay.
So a lot of good support, being very accepting of and encouraging of the uniqueness that she carries within her. Especially young girls will tend to feel like not only are they alienated if they're different from their peers, but less than. Make sure that she understands that she is not less than, that she is absolutely needed, and that her diversity from some of the other people that she's around is extremely beautiful and needed. And so you might start looking into getting her into groups, or perhaps getting you and your child into groups where there are families who have children like her. Even if you haven't seen these abilities coming through yet, you know, you might start talking to her a little bit more about the metaphysical, about the ultra life. Encourage her imagination, encourage her creativity. And as you do, and teach her some of these relaxation techniques, the visualizations, perhaps go to mother and child yoga class together once in a while, something like that. And you will see that start to dissipate, that suffering. And also you'll start to see her power come up and her confidence. And she's, you know, she could start a whole new paradigm in the world if she wanted to. She is that powerful. So you brought a good one in, and,
thank you.
and we're here to help if you ever need advice. She's absolutely amazing. In fact, there are several of you on this program tonight who have children who, if you don't know it yet, start looking at them and noticing they are extremely powerful beings. Artur, yours is another one. The energy that comes off of them is just amazing. They may not even be in the same room as you right now, and yet the energy is emanating and fulfilling all of these people who are on this call right now. So we congratulate all of you who are parents right now of these children. And we'll be speaking more in future transmissions about these special children, because they're extremely important to this movement of the Ascension movement that we're helping you with right now, the awakening. So we hope that helps.
Thank you so much. It helped tons. Thank you. It was nice to get the confirmation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Just remember not to get into fear place, because children feed off of your energy very, very, very well. So it's a lot of work to hold that vibration high, but it's well worth it. So thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let's see who else is on here. Artur had something else to say. Artur, go ahead, please. You need to unmute yourself.
So maybe I'm gonna let Solange speak first, because I already said something. I'm gonna let Solange speak first. Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, so go ahead and mute yourself, and then Solange, please. You go ahead and unmute yourself, and we'll speak with you.
Yes. Before I speak, I'm very curious. Artur, do you speak French?
I do not. I speak a tiny bit of French, but not at all.
I was asking Artur because
Artur, yes.
Do you speak French?
No, I don't speak French. I speak German. That's why this accent.
Yeah.
I have accent, so I'm very sensitive to accent. I am from Quebec, not from France. And my question is about my grandson. He's 9, and what you describe, I think, describe him very well. Since he was born, he almost died, and I was at the hospital near him for 5 weeks. But now he just turned 9, and he was diagnosed with, I think it's called ADHD.
Yes.
And my daughter think about giving him some pills. She said, I want him to be having like a normal life, but I think she's so I know I'm freaking out, but she's so overwhelmed.
Yes.
So and I know since he was born, I said, he has a very important mission. I know that. But I just wonder, what to do. I don't live near there. I live in Tucson, Arizona. She lives in Montreal, Canada, Quebec.
Yes, it's very difficult as a parent, but especially difficult as a grandparent to witness something like that. It is an epidemic in your society right now. These children are coming through who are absolutely connected and do not come in veiled into this lifetime. They are completely in remembrance of their other life realities, of their potential. They are so sensitive that they become overstimulated very easily. They can be very sensitive in their bodies and incur lots of discomforts or conditions. One of the main things that again, Fernanda had brought up about the gut biome, the gut brain. A lot of these children who are being diagnosed with ADHD and other behavioral conditions are completely reversed and turned back to healthy, happy, balanced children when they are taken off of processed foods and sugars, and they're allowed their gut biome to flourish. So diet is very important, and it is very important to understand, though, that these children are not just living in this particular life focus. They are multidimensional beings, and so what seems like cacophony to people watching them is merely them focusing on many lives all at once, and they're interacting in that way. And those who are not open to that yet, or who have not remembered that they are that way as well, think that it is aberrant behavior, and it's not. It is the real behavior of most beings in the universe, in the multiverse. However, as a grandparent, you know, it's very hard if the mother or the father or both are, you know, they're brainwashed and programmed, again, by society to sedate these children. Basically, that's what they're doing. They're sedating them so that they are docile and not causing disruption, when in fact the disruption is caused because they are so bright and so sensitive that the way they're being taught and dealt with in your society and in your schools is it's utter boredom to them, and it seems meaningless to them, and they have so much to offer. But as the grandparent, and especially living so far away, you don't have much control physically over that situation, and you don't want to cause bad feelings between you and your daughter, of course. So what we would tell you is what we are telling everybody about, you know, the same way you control your health in your body is the same way you help to create life in the world with your loved ones. And that is, you don't push your loved ones into doing things. You can offer them advice if you're asked, and by all means, if you feel compelled to do research on what we were just talking about with the gut biome and everything, please do so, because it is a very important part of getting the proper body pharmaceuticals to kick in and having that child be not just very intelligent and bright and creative and energetic, but also balanced and calm. But the way you do it is to stay calm within yourself and to stay in that high vibrational state yourself, and visualize that family coming into coherence, coming into the knowing of how to deal with this, seeing that grandchild be a balanced, happy person, not a normal person, one that the schools like to say, you know, sit at a desk for 8 hours, be quiet, speak only when spoken to, answer the questions to prove that you know this material. No, to be a whole human being, to be a bright, brilliant human being and a loving being. So don't get into the fear place about your grandchild. Know that these children, whether we help them or not this way, they will bring themselves into a place of happiness and coherence in this lifetime. They absolutely will. You don't need to worry about the child, but if you want to help the child, just energetically hold space for them every day in your heart and in your mind, that they are going to be the best them they can be, and it will benefit their family and themselves and the world. And that's where you see things turning around. Does that make sense?
Even if she gave him the pill, okay, what I noticed when I talked to her like 2 weeks ago, she's a monoparental. There's no father there, and she's the one overwhelmed, you know.
Yes,
for
of
9
course.
months. It's very, very, but I started working on him or contacting him at night.
Yes.
When I go to bed, I send him, and I just want to add to describe him, is an in vitro child, which I think is very new.
Yes, it is.
I don't think that ever happened. So this is very special.
He's very, very special child. And again, just like these other children we were talking about earlier, like Elizabeth's child, Artur's child, this one is very special, has very unique gifts, especially telekinetic gifts. You'll see that this child will be able to manipulate physical objects with their mind as they grow older. And don't worry about, again, don't get into the fear place. If the family decides to medicate this child, it's unfortunate. It's just a speed bump, though. That child will overcome the medication and they will express as themselves no matter what. So, try not to get into a state of worry or stress about it. Just hold space for the child and the family and for your culture, and watch the good stuff happen.
And he's very strong because he's a double Scorpio.
Oh, yes. Well, he came in to heal all the wounds then, didn't he?
That's what I told him. I knew. I have goosebumps. I knew because he almost died. He was at the hospital. Mm-hmm. I was there for 5 weeks. He was there for 6 weeks. And I was humming, singing to him for 5 weeks. And I told him, I knew from the start that he had a very, very, very important mission.
He does.
And also I send loving to my daughter. She's so overwhelmed so that she can, go over that. And but I thank you for the encouragement you're giving me.
Yes, just be in the peace as much as you can be, and send that peace in waves to them. That is the best way you can help right now. Just holding that space and being peaceful and being loving and being open and accepting. You will see things start to fall in place. We promise.
I just want to add something. It's because my daughter is overwhelmed because she was raised in very alternative medicine, everything, so it's just like it's a survival to give it. So
yes, and it's okay. We told someone in a couple of transmissions ago who asked about using pharmaceuticals for certain illnesses and everything. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be more sensitive to how it's affecting you, what your choices have brought, and then remembering that your body creates the proper pharmaceuticals for you if you're in the proper mindset. But if you need a jump start, perhaps you're very, very tired and you just don't have the energy to put into spending hours a day visualizing the goodness happening in your body. Well, you help it along with that. There is a place in your life for the medicine, and that's okay. But again, this whole thing is, as we like to remind you, it is a thought experiment. This particular life reality, it is not as monumental as you would give it credence to. It's just one speck, one pixel of your existence. So know that the rest of it, you're fine. This is just something you're focused on now, and it will be just fine if you can focus on the greater part of who you are and of reality. you'll see this one start to cohere better. All right?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Solange, for being with us and for bringing that up. We want to go back to the chat because Joe doesn't have volume, and we wanted to read her her comments. Let's see. Oh, it looks like she might have it fixed. So let's go back here. Joe says, to further Artur's comments, I was just going to say that in September I was experiencing pain in my back. It felt like the kidney. So I asked to be healed while sleeping. My dream that night spoke to me, and these were the words I received: illness detected and instantly healed, much to my delight. I have been using remote healing for a long time now to help friends and family who are in distance or in distress because of physical or mental illness. Last weekend, I attended a plant healing ceremony, and it was revealed to me that we're all actually responsible for healing ourselves. Is it still feasible for me to be sending healing energy to other people? By the way, my electronics are constantly being interfered with. So, to answer your question, Joe, it is always not just okay, but it is always encouraged for you to help by sending healing energy to others. Even though we all heal ourselves, we need each other. This is very significant because we are not separate from each other. If a person is suffering from disease or a condition that is painful or disruptive, the other people around them need to be sending healing to them because they are healing part of themselves. Does that make sense? And so, just as, you know, our partner is a very gifted healer, has been since she was a tiny child, and she works on herself a lot with healing. But there are times when she asks other people in the healing community for help. This is part of growing back into the realization that we are not alone, that we are not separate, that we must work together. And so it is very important, the work that you're doing, and we ask you to continue to do it. And thank you for bringing that up. Thank you. And yes, to underscore what you said about the electronics, yes, there are always some electronic things that happen when the energy is this high. And it's unfortunate, but we're working with very dense, gross, slow-moving systems on this planet in this density. So, you know, forgive us. We'll try to uphold you as much as possible, but sometimes it is what it is. So we thank you for your patience there. And let's see, Victoria, would you like to unmute yourself and speak, please?
Yes, thank you. My grandson is 20 years old, and he's going to have major ear surgery after January the 1st. He's had problem with this one ear all of his life. He's had the tubes and everything. But now it comes down to he's going to have major ear surgery. His parents divorced last year, and I don't know if that's putting, you know, some pressure or apprehension on him. I live about 3 hours from him. Is there anything that I can be doing, or?
Well, again, the same answer to you as we were speaking with Solange about the, you know, there are symbolic meanings to every dis-ease or condition that the human body experiences. He has a lot of pressure in his ears. He has pain, inflammation, and these things are, of course, related to what he's feeling internally and emotionally due to the, you know, unfortunate circumstances in his life right now, in his family life. The best thing you can do for him is what we were saying to these other folks about their children and grandchildren, and that is to just be with them as much as possible, especially internally in your meditation. You know, see yourself cuddling them, see yourself sending healing energy to those ears, and lots of love and comfort to that heart. That child is really feeling pain, and it's just you know, children are so sensitive anyway to what's happening between their parents or the loved ones around them if there's discord. But especially the children that are, you know, living right now, that are being born right now, they're extremely sensitive beings, as we said before. They come with no filter. And so when they experience pain in their family life, it often crystallizes as pain and suffering in the physical body. So, you know, you can speak to the parents a little bit about being more aware of how they are interacting and speaking to and about each other during these things, because it affects the child so disastrously. But the best help you can be is to hold space for that child and for the parents and everybody involved, and just send love. And the way you do that is you get quiet and you don't give any thought to them at first. You go in and tap into the deepest feelings of love and memory that you have for yourself in your life. Think of the things that made you feel the best in your life, that gave you the most loving, balanced, healthy, vibrant feelings, and tap into those memories as deeply as you can. Feel them in your body until you are vibrating very high with those feelings, and then visualize the person or persons that you want to help heal and bring back into balance, and envelop them in that feeling state. And that is the best way you can help. And do it as much as you possibly can. It is a cumulative effect, so the more you do it, the more you help them. But the other thing you do is you help yourself as well. Remember that you don't notice something in someone else, and you are not discouraged about something in someone else, but that you have some of the same feelings within your own being. You may not have ear pain or ear problems, but you may feel the root cause of that pain somewhere in your own self. And so if you heal your internal self that way, your own inner child, then that child will also be healed. And, you know, you can do that in conjunction with what they're going to do. The surgery is, you know, it's probably not something you can stop, and we're not telling you to ask them to stop. Sometimes people need to have things like that done because that is their belief system, and that's what the culture has led them to believe is the best thing for them. If they've already decided to have that done, then just hold space for perfect healing and recovery for that child and for that family. And that's the best you can do. And it will turn out just fine. We see that. And we will also be sending healing to all of these people you're talking about tonight. There's a lot going on, and the physical body in each of you and each of the people that you are in, that you love, are going to be going through all kinds of things that you didn't expect, and so forth. Don't let that knock you off of your course. Stay out of fear, stay out of worry, stay out of stress as much as possible, and just get into that loving, healing state, and then radiate that out to everyone else. Remember, worry, by the way, is rehearsing and believing in the worst case scenario is going to happen in life. Don't create more things by worrying. Just let it go. And we're not saying don't care. We're saying just the opposite. Care enough to do positive things in that regard. Are we presenting that clearly for you?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. And thank you for that. Thank you. We seem to be on a theme tonight. And so it's good information. Artur, did you have something else that you wanted to say, or?
Yes, thank you. I wanted to say to Solange regarding the child with the ADHD. My kids, they have also a lot of energy, and it really helps if I get them outside every day and let them just run around as much as I can. That helps a lot. And if I make sure that they get as little device time as possible, the handies, the tablets, all of that, they pick everything up. They pick up, like,
all the
devices
EMFs.
the devices they are picking up, they're basically imitating telepathy. It's information, pictures, audio, video, everything flowing through the air, and the device is picking it up. These kids are picking some of that up, and they are, whatever, it's like all of these shows they got for all the kids, they're getting them hype, and then they start to watch the devices, they become receivers, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's really the best that you can do. And don't worry about the medication. In the Bible, there are two great ones. The Debs know about this for sure. The teachers know about this for sure. There are two cases, very famous cases. They were both in vitro.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
They were great ones.
They were saviors of the world.
Yes.
So yeah. So
100%.
And thank you for bringing that up, Artur. It's very important that you understand, not just for these children who are so sensitive, but also yourselves. Anyone who's listening this right now came in with a more sensitive body than their parents and grandparents before them. And yet you came into a world that is now filled with frequencies that are very discordant to your own neural network and to your own cellular network. And so spending time in nature, grounding or earthing, as you would call that, is very important to help cleanse that extra energy out of the body. Eating clean foods, drinking pure water, breathing deeply, but being outside, and especially these children, limit their exposure to devices, not just their phones and their tablets, but the television, but in the computer monitors, everything. And in your homes, if possible, and we know this is very tough, but unplug these things. Don't just turn them off at night. Unplug them before you go to sleep, because they are sending those waves through your house and through your body, even if they're plugged in. So that's one good way to help. It's a very simple thing, but it's very important. These children need exercise, they need fresh air, they need sunlight, and so do you. So thank you for bringing those points, Artur. It's very important. And thank you for having your child on here.
Well, from the heart is by coincidence, he came out. But I wanted to say also the harmonizers, pyramids, and there are different kinds of harmonizers. Yes. They have Q-wave, quantum balancing. There are many different websites. The harmonizers, because you cannot get rid of the signals that are everywhere around us. But the harmonizers, what they are doing is, once a signal hits a harmonizer, it balances those signals, and therefore the signals become less harmful.
They become null. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And the medication, the child is so strong, the medication is going to dull out within a few months. It's going to become dull. The medication is not going to work the way.
Not going to work anyway, right? Well, and don't you do some of that work yourself? I mean, you're sitting in front of.
Yes,
of a Merkaba right there, that giant Merkaba.
I am obsessed, absolutely obsessed with sacred geometry, and that's my new life. 144 and 72, all of that. And
it's
I
important.
wanted to say, there is no coincidence, because you mentioned that you're from France, and there is something going on. It's called the Scan Pyramid project. Yes. It was released that they finally confirmed a hidden chamber in the Great Pyramid, above the Great Gallery, and which was very interesting in the project. They have mentioned, just by the way, dropped that fact that the scans have revealed that there seems to be no chamber above the King's Chamber. Well, we know from the Vitruvian Man drawing that there are 3 chambers, and it just might be that they're in a frequency where they cannot be found right now.
Right.
With the right motivation, these chambers will be accessible. But
and think about this too, what you're talking about, you know, the Great Pyramid of Giza, again, we're talking about symbolic manifestation on your planet. The Great Pyramid of Giza with those 3 chambers is symbolic of the 3 brains in your own body that we were just speaking about. And so the frequencies are very important. What we will do is have our partner put onto her page. Artur had put it on her page earlier today, but we'll put it on the page that this event was on. This news story about these frequencies, this new chambers that they've scanned, the French scientists have scanned into and found in the Great Pyramid of Giza. What they're finding out is what we all have been, you know, we've been trying to tell you all, that these pyramids and these structures were frequency emitters and transmitters and receivers, and that's how, you know, the sacred geometry was used to perform many functions for a long time on this planet, and they will be reinitiated very soon. So you'll see many interesting things soon coming from that area. But we'll post that little video because it's interesting to see, and it will help you understand. Just remember, what you're seeing about the Great Pyramid in Giza is the same information that you should be looking into in your own being. All right?
And I wanted to mention too that they were mentioned in that short video that it's a French team, which is Orion, and the Egyptian team, along with a Japanese team, which is Series B, which is fantastic. And
it's fantastic, yes.
I want to ask also from the group, from those who do healing work, for healing for my wife, who's experiencing issues with thyroids. And I know a lot of women experience these issues, which are very, very difficult to diagnose, right? Because it is very complex. And, you know, there are many people who are doing, you know, try to heal themselves with iodine. And iodine might be just the wrong thing in that case, because many, many times people are being misdiagnosed just because it is such a complex issue with the thyroid. So
yes, it is.
I would like to ask for help from our community with that. Thank you for everything. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you for bringing it up. And so please know that this group, as we said before, is here on purpose to work with each other. You all are healers. You all are intuitives. You all are great masters in many, many ways. And so when you go into your meditations, please connect with each other. Even if you don't remember the names, even if you don't remember the faces, just connect with your group and send healing, send love, say prayers, whatever is your modality, just send it. And we will be working with her as well, Artur, because you're part of our deeply held star family. So all of you on this call are, you know, singularly related to us, but we will be sending healing to her as well as continued healing to you as well. All right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Solange had one more thing to say, it looks like. Solange?
Yeah, when you were talking about frequency, yesterday I received information I found very overwhelming. It was a description of what 5G are, you know, and it was saying it's a very different frequency, very, 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 very disturbing. And they already send a satellite, and apparently there will be more than 100 satellites. Their idea is to cover the whole Earth with this frequency. And I said, where can we go? You know, I found it was very overwhelming.
Yes, well, in fact, it's at last count, they are planning on sending 46,000 of those satellites up. And again, listen to what you're saying and doing with yourself. You're paying attention to scary information, okay? Yes, the 5G frequencies that these 5G systems are putting out are very different. They're very discordant. But if you continue to stay positive, stay focused on the goodness of life and of your absolute unlimited capability to create more goodness in life, that energy that those are emitting will be turned into a different form of energy that is not discordant to you. You can switch anything you like. You know, there's a technique that many people on the planet are using now. You know, the people are very afraid of chemtrails. You see all the chemtrails. And when you look up and you see all that, instead of getting upset or frightened or saying, oh, they're trying to make us sick or they're messing up the world, see those chemtrails as little flecks of love particles coming down to the earth. Transmute that energy into love, and seeing that come down to your planet and showering the planet with love energy instead of whatever it is that they're trying to do with that. You can also transmute this 5G energy every time you think about the 5G, or you see a story about it where people are, you know, crying out and saying, we have to stop this and everything. The best defense to that is to not worry about it, is to not get into a state of fear, but to sit with it in your meditation and in your conscious awareness and literally transmute it into something good. Transmute it into something good. Remember, the purpose of that is for greater communication. And we've said this before to these groups. The age that you live in right now is a pinnacle state. This is when you make that jump from 3D to 5D. There's no mistake that they're calling it 5G because it's moving up in frequency, but the way that you do it is you have been born into a time where you have invented things like computers and the internet, where you have instantaneous information at your fingertips. You can talk to people from all over the world at the same time, like you are doing right now. It is the training wheel set for complete telepathic connection, for complete heart coherence, heart and mind coherence. There will soon be no separation. You will still be unique. You'll still have your unique and individual qualities, but you will not be in this experience of having to hide from one another and be afraid of one another and be afraid of this and scared of that, because there will be nothing to hide from. You will, you know, when everyone can read everyone else's thoughts and feelings, there's nothing to hide from, because especially you will by then have realized that energy is infinite. You don't have to work and struggle to have a warm and cozy house or food on the table. All of this comes into play with this leap to this next frequency. There will be perfect abundance for everyone. There will be harmony, and there will be coherence, where there will no longer be the need for all of this negativity. So please don't be afraid of this. It's okay to be aware of current events, but then once you're aware of them, quit paying attention to them in that frequency from which they came. See the negative things that you're being exposed to transmuted with your powerful intention, and watch the world change. Or watch, in fact, the better way to say it is watch yourself change into a better world. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Joe says, yes, but will I be able to fly? Let's see. Joe, you can already fly. You just have to believe it. Just a little bit longer, and you will see so many interesting things. You already fly. We know that you have experienced that in your dream state. Know that the dream state is just another frequency that you have tuned into in your own creation and your own existence. So you already can fly. Now you just need to pull it into this physical state, or pull the physical you up into a higher frequency, like we're attempting to help you do now. Okay? All right. All right. Well, our partner needs to go here in a little bit, but we promised that we would let her speak with all of you and you to speak with each other for a few minutes at the end. If there are no more questions, we will let you go, but we will always be with you, and we will continue to host these transmissions for you from time to time to continue the education in the community. Until then, we thank you, we love you, we bless you, and in Lakesh. And so, hello everybody. It's me again. I just wanted to say thank you. I'm buzzing off the charts right now. The energy is so incredible from this group. It's amazing. Thank you so much. And I promised you that at the end of this broadcast that we would have something to offer you. It is my, it's the end of the year, and this year has been very special to me because many of you have been working with me and with the teachers in my sacred work. Channeling is only one thing that I do. I also do quantum hypnotherapy work. I do counseling. I do a lot of work with contact counseling as well, and ET contact, and I do nutritional counseling, all this stuff. So at the end of the year, every year, I always put on a special, and right now I have a special going on it's bigger than I've ever run. It's 30% off of any of my services till the end of the year. And so that's out there. That's been out there since the week of Thanksgiving here in the United States. And you can avail yourselves of that if you like. But for those of you who are on this program this evening, I want to offer you something even more special, and just from the deepest place of gratitude and love in my heart. Any of you who would like to have a private session with the teachers, or doing any or all of the work that we do together, up to an hour, if you'll just let me know, just send me a message on Facebook, or send me an email, and or get in touch with me through my website. And the website address is up there on the screen. It's debzshakti.com. Just let me know that you would like a session. Even if you don't know what you want, your soul will tell us what you want, and we'll do it. But up to an hour, it can be 30 minutes to an hour. And you can do that for a love offering. It doesn't matter what you send. You won't be able to schedule it through my online scheduler. That's why I'm asking you to send me a private message about what you would like, if you know, and when you would like it, some dates and times. And then we will take your love offering either through my PayPal account or through, your credit card or debit card. And it doesn't matter what love offering you give, just a little love offering. And that goes to the end of the year. So any of you, if you want a session or sessions with us, just let me know in private message, and we'll set you up for that and with our deepest thanks. Don't be shy. It's it's usually it's hard at this time of year to come up with extra money, especially if you are in a state of stress or you need something. And so there needs to be some form of exchange, or it doesn't seem to work very well for the person who's receiving the services. They don't seem to feel like there's an investment. So make a love offering, and we'll set it up for you and get you in. Okay. So I'm going to unmute all of you, and we can say hi if you like. It's going to be kind of loud. So, but yeah, if you want to speak, go ahead and speak. Say hi to everybody, and then we'll chat for just a couple of seconds, and then we'll say goodbye to each other. Okay?
Just out of interest, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, of course. Now that it's,
now that it's over. Bonjour.
Yeah.
Merci.
Bonjour.
Oh, Joe, how fun.
I had electronic trouble last time, if you remember, Debz.
Yes.
We
had the double feedback loop with you last time. So you just have incredible energy, and it's funny. We always have some kind of funny, energetic thing happening with our equipment on these things. So it's just been so good to see all of you. I have people from all over the world on here tonight, including my oldest and dearest friend, Anna Jean, who lives in Arkansas as well. We've known each other since we were like 10 years old or something, I think.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just amazing. So,
and this has been wonderful.
Oh, thank you. It's good that you're here. I just love you so much. And but I love all of you. It's just so great to see your faces. I'm going to scan through and see if I see anybody else. Most people are still kind of on their don't want to be on camera, and that's totally cool. I mean, I get it.
Where in Arkansas are you, Anna Jean?
In Wynn. We're about 50 miles west of Memphis.
I see. Yeah. Okay. I'm in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We lived in Wynn together when we were kids, when my dad got transferred there. And then Carrie lives in near Mountain Home, right? Carrie, is that
right?
Kind of where it is? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
I used to live in Mountain Home too.
Yep.
You lived in
Mountain 5 years.
Yeah.
Deborah, I have a request. Would you write your email address on the chat?
Oh, yes, I'll put that on the chat. And then I'll also be putting all of my contact information on the, when I post these videos on my YouTube channel, on the website, and on the Facebook page. You'll get all that too, so you'll be able to connect with me. But let me put that into the chat.
I am new. I'm new. It's my first time.
Oh, we're so glad.
It's my friend Mag, she's here, who told me about that.
Oh, that's great, Mags. Thanks for inviting her. So, Debz Shakti. Email, sorry, I'm typing way up in the air here, is Shakti. Sorry.
Bonjour, Mag.
Bonjour, Solange.
Hi, everybody.
It's Unite the World Night.
It is. It's so beautiful, isn't it, to have all of you here?
It makes it wonderful experience.
So, okay, so there, I just put in the chat my email address, which is also the PayPal account name, if you ever, if you do want to send a love offering for a session, and then my website address. And you'll be able to contact me through those. Now I'm getting a feedback loop. So anyway, with that, I guess I'll go because this is just getting so crazy. Oh yes, Artur reminds us tonight is a global CE5 night. I wholly encourage everyone to go out under the stars and make contact, or if it's not good for you right now, or like some of you are in the middle of the day, just make contact in your heart. I plan on going outside because it is now about 9:11 p.m. at my time, and it's perfect. So I can't wait to see what happens.
Something I share is say verbally, mentally, welcome to Earth, safe travels, enjoy what you can, but have fun. Can't all be work.
Yes, absolutely, David. That's a beautiful, beautiful invocation. For those of you who don't know what CE5 is, it is a process. It stands for Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind is when humans initiate contact with ET or multidimensional beings. So that's what CE5 means. If you have, if you don't know what that means, so we go out under the stars and invite communication and community and heart coherence. Yeah.
I don't see your information on my chat.
It's on the chat. Maybe did it? It looks like it's in. It's private. Here, let me copy.
You'll probably get it after.
Yeah, I can't get it. I can't get it out of sending to Joe for some reason, or to private.
Yeah, me too. I don't know.
Here, I figured it out. So let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, someone will have to tell me how to go out of privately. I tried to, I can't.
Okay, when you see that, where you start to tap, it says send to. If it has someone's name, just click on that little arrow and then you can go to everyone. That's what I just learned too. So I learned something tonight myself.
Okay, I have it now. Good. Thank you.
Good. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much again. I love all of you. I hate saying goodbye, but I have 2 dogs who need to go out and use the restroom, and they're letting me know in no uncertain terms that there's going to be a disaster if I don't get off soon. So
run.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Debz.
Thanks to all of you. I love you so much. These will be these recordings. Today's earlier one and this one will be posted at least by this time tomorrow night on my Facebook page, on my website, and on my YouTube page. So.
No pressure.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thanks to you all. I love you all so much. And please connect with me at any time. If you have any questions after this, don't hesitate to ask. Be sure that you're very good to yourself. All the things that we were talking about earlier, being out in nature, grounding, being good to your body, going into meditation, all of these things are self-care things. Okay? So
thank you so much, Deb.
All right. Love you. Bye, Carrie.
Baby.
Bye, everyone. See you later.
Bye.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.